Hello, 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 hello. I am E. Jones Blacksher, your hostess for the Bullying Reported Please podcast. Here on this podcast, we tackle the tough conversations about bullying, from the schoolyard to the workplace, of course, to the church, and believe it or not, even in our nursing homes, just about anywhere anyone is or where they can go. And whether you're a parent, whether you are a victim or a perpetrator, this podcast is for you. And again, on this podcast, we tackle that very tough subject, that one that people don't want to talk about. They want to kind of sweep it under the rug and want to say that it's just, it's growing pains. No. It is not necessarily growing pains, because it could have lifelong effects on the victim. Believe it or not, it can also have lifelong effects on the bully as well as the bystander, someone that just happened to see it and chose to do something about it, or even chose not to. So today, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the effects of bullying. So join me as we talk about this. We advocate for stopping bullying. Number one, we have to be aware of it, know what it is, and then let's just learn some of the steps that we need to take in order to eradicate bullying at all levels. So what we're going to do is we're going to get all off into it right now about some of the effects of bullying. And if you think that bullying, you feel it only once or while it's going on, and once it's stopped, it'll go away, well, I'm going to highly suggest that you think again. I met a lady, and I've met several people, when talking about bullying reported please. I had one lady that, I'll say seasoned. I'm not going to call anybody old, but this lady literally was in tears, thinking about how she was bullied as a child. And I'm going to say that I'm on wild guess, she was 50 plus. So just to think that it's not lifelong, that's not true. Either way, whether you tackled it head on, or you endured it over and over and over again. So let's just talk about some of the effects of bullying. Now, bullying victims can suffer not only the mental effects of bullying, but it also can become physical. And it's not just the victim. It can be the bully, the victim, or the bystander. All feel the effects of bullying. Emotional. And it could lead to physical injury. It could lead to social or emotional problems, and in some cases, even death. It could lead to death. And how, you might ask? Well, let's keep talking. Bullied children and teens actually are more likely to experience depression, anxiety, and sometimes long-term damage to the self-esteem. How do you feel when talking to bullying victims, even a bully? I ask that question. How do you feel? How did it make you feel? Many said sad, angry, helpless. They really felt pretty low. pretty low when dealing with bullying, when being bullied. Now, they can experience the depression, the anxiety, and again, as I said, long term. The damage can be long term. And remember, only 20% report being bullied. Only 20% of high schoolers. And StopBullying.com reports that in 12 of 15 school shootings, the shooter had been bullied. Do I need to say that again? StopBullying.gov reports that in 12 of 15 school shootings, the shooters had been bullying. Now, surely you cannot sit here and tell me that being bullied does not have any effect on anyone. These school shootings, I don't know how you felt, but my heart broke. I can only imagine what these parents were going with, the other students, the faculty, the staff, the communities. So you see, it's not just the victim here. And it's not just it's not just that person, not that family, not that little group, but the world felt the effects of 12 out of 15 that had been bullied. Oh, please do not misquote me. I'm not saying that bullying caused these 12 to go out and shoot up the school. That is not what I'm saying by any stretch of the imagination. However, I'm pretty sure having been bullied played an integral role in their decision to do what they did. Again, anxiety, depression, low self-esteem. These are the things that these victims were dealing with. Now, as I had stated earlier, not only does the bully victim suffer effects of being bullied, the bully does too. And bullies, actually, the bully, they're at risk of being antisocial, getting into fights, violent behavior, and destroying property. That's the bully. That is and they got problems with school. They and some of them drop out. Some of them just drop out of school, and they're more likely to abuse substances and alcohol. Now I'm talking about the bully, the effects. And this can even go on into adulthood. And it has been studied, and there is research to say that they actually could grow up and abuse their partners, their spouses, their children, or engage in other criminal behavior. We're talking about the bully now. The bully. And someone that has been bullied and is a bully, they suffer the most. The effects are more prevalent, more prominent in their lives. Think about it. The bully suffers from antisocial, sometimes violent behavior, fights, and even could lead to domestic violence. But by the same token, the low self-esteem, they had been bullied. You've heard a lot of times the bullied become the bully. They've suffered from low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, even to the point of physical illness. This happens in victims, physical illnesses. And they suffer the most serious effects. They do. Believe it or not, bystanders. bystanders also suffer. Well, why? Nothing happened to them. They just witnessed it. And some chose to do something about it, and others didn't. Well, that bystander, if they didn't do anything, they could also suffer from if I coulda, woulda, shoulda. If I coulda, woulda, shoulda. I should have, but I didn't. I wonder what happened. I don't know. Had I said something, would that have made a difference in this person's life? So you have a tendency, it has happened. It has happened to me. And yes, I felt pretty bad. I felt bad. And I did just that. If I coulda, woulda, shoulda. Said something. Why we don't say anything? Because we fear. We fear repercussion. If I say something and they turn on me, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, that's an individual call. But now, on the other hand, the person that stepped in and said something, it gave them a boost. It increased possibly their self-esteem. It makes you feel pretty good about yourself when you know that you're doing the right thing. Don't you agree? It feels real good when you know that you've made a significant impact. And believe it or not, just a little goes a long way. That victim, I'm sure, will never, ever forget your kindness. How you risked possibly being attacked. How you risked your own well-being to say something and to protect them. It makes you feel pretty good. And it make that victim feel pretty good too. Now, when we talk about death, let's talk about that death part. There's no, according to research and scripts and articles that I've read, there are no direct correlation between bullying and one taking their own lives. Well, that decision is usually not due to any one thing. So imagine, adults, let me talk to you for a minute. Imagine, we always say feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulder. Well, you're an adult. You have children. You lost your job. There's very little food. Your children are in need. The car broke down. Let's just say all of this is piled on you. All of it is coming at you, coming at you, coming at you. It's very hard to maintain. Imagine this happening to 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, teenager. Imagine all of this. They're being hit. They're being talked about. They're being isolated. Oh my God. Cyberbullying, the Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, just rumors going around, on and on. Imagine they either don't go for help or they do. And when they do go for help, nothing happens. They feel useless. They feel hopeless. Well, again, a lot of things. Depressed, low self-esteem, again, feeling worthless. Don't know how they can come out of it because it's just bombarded. They're bombarded with this. being bullied, grades drop. You antisocial. You lost who you thought were your friends. Imagine. Imagine. Unfortunately, some feel that there's no way out. So they seek a permanent solution to a temporary problem. A problem that can be resolved with the little help from you and all those that are around that person. Bullying can have a lifelong effect on mental health, physical health, your self-esteem. It's incredible, the damage that bullying can cause. Imagine you're mentally low already, and then your body comes under attack. Your immune system is low. And your body, it takes a toll on your body. Your mind. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. You've heard that. You've heard it. I've heard it. Some people can deal with being bullied. Some people are tough. And some fight back. Some fight back, but only 20% report it. 20%. That other 80%, some can fight it and overcome. But we're not all the same. We're not all built the same. So let's just think about this. When you see something, when you see someone being bullied, you think about the effect that it's going to have on you. If you say something, you step in to intervene, what kind of effect is it going to have on you if you didn't? Oftentimes, again, the bullied becomes the bully. A double whammy. Let's stop this. Let's put a stop to it. And guess what? Bully victims have the highest risk for suicidal behavior. Some may not necessarily take their own lives, die by suicide. Some may not. But the behavior, you put yourself in those positions, drugs, alcohol, looking for love in all the wrong places, and being under the influence of drugs and alcohol, you're not thinking straight. You're in an altered state of mind. Self-harm. The signs are there. The signs are there. Bullying is no joke, people. It is no joke. And, oh, they're just playing. Well, let me ask you to do this. Question it. You see this going on? You see this going on continuously? Teachers, your classrooms. You see that one person that is singled out, 1 or 2, 3 students that are singled out. And all of a sudden, here's Mr. and Miss Popular come in and boom, say something and everybody laugh. And this happens constantly. Get a grip. Get control. That's bullying. No. Do something about it. is very serious. Do you know anyone that's been bullied and ended up being abusive to their spouse, to their partner, to their children? Do you know of anyone that died by suicide and was attributed to bullying? Again, bullying in itself does not cause it. However, bullying does cause anxiety, depression, and could lead to suicidal ideation. And I do know, I hear it, you hear it. Whether it is in your neighborhood, whether it is in your city, regardless of whether it is in your state, no matter where it is, you have heard the child committed. You've seen the headlines. 10-year-old died by suicide because they had been bullied. The 8-year-old died by suicide because they had been bullied at school. The school shooter was bullied in school because the pants were too short. Mom and dad couldn't afford the clothes, the proper fitting clothes. You've heard it. I've heard it. You've read it. I've read it. Question: what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Let's eradicate bullying. Help me to help our children, our adults, everyone, to be kind, to treat people the way you want to be treated. And let's put an end to this. Let's put a stop to this. Let's join hands. Let us create safer, more inclusive environments for everyone. Oh, excuse me. Let's talk about our LGBTQT communities. Let's not forget about them. People that are different, that we perceive different. Who are we to say who's different? We are different. We are all unique. We are one of a kind individuals. No one is greater than anyone. Let's treat people the way we want to be treated, no matter how they look, no matter their choices, no matter their hair color, no matter their race, their creed, their origin, or their religious beliefs. Let's treat people the way we want to be treated. And let's stand together against bullying, one report at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, I am E. Jones Blacksher, your hostess of Bullying Reported Please. And on the next podcast, I will have an interview with an outstanding young man that was bullied at school and reported it. Stay tuned for the results. Again, I am E. Jones Blacksher, your hostess for the podcast Bullying Reported Please. Let's stand together as we fight to eradicate bullying, one report at a time.